Hi, Mike Sarah here from Customer States. If you're searching for the highest quality additives, lubricants, or cleaners for your automotive, heavy equipment, agricultural, or industrial machinery needs, look no further than the Justice Brothers line of products. From lubing your chainsaw, performing a complete fuel system treatment and decarb service on a customer's vehicle, keeping that forklift forking and lifting, or just need a can of that famous JB80 penetrant to persuade a rusty bolt, Justice Brothers has you covered. Travis Ferris of Hit Distributing is not only Southern California's authorized Justice Brothers distributor, but also a great friend of mine. Over the years, Travis has helped me and my dealership with anything and everything we need, including all the lines of Justice Brothers products and even equipment to perform the various services we may need for our specific application. HIT stands for honesty, integrity, and trust, so you know when you contact Travis, that's exactly what you'll get. That, combined with Justice Brothers supplying superior quality automotive products since the 1940s and 75 years in the racing industry, you will have absolutely everything at your disposal to get the job done. Justice Brothers is proudly made in the USA, and they have a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Justice Brothers has the best quality products over any other competitor, and they'll gladly tell you that themselves. If you live in the Southern California area, call my man Travis Ferris at 805-208-7818. And if you don't, call him anyway and tell him I said thanks. And visit justicebrothers.com to learn more about their complete line of products. Justice Brothers, America's brand for quality.
Welcome back to another riveting episode of Customer States. It is another Friday, which means...
Okay, can we just talk about Jake single-handedly opening his?
That was very impressive.
One-hand open.
I've got big meaty hands.
You've got technique.
Big meaty hands. As always, guys, I am Jake Rekis. Been in the automotive field for, service advisor for about 3 years. But I've been working on cars, loving cars, and appreciating cars since I was a wee little kid. To my left, the producer extraordinaire is Kevin.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hi, Kevin.
Are you in the Heezy today?
I'm here.
I'm
here.
barely here.
Yeah.
It's been a week.
I don't do anything for the automotive industry except harass it, and I've been doing that for 15 plus years probably. So to my left is Mike Sarah.
Hey, everybody. My name is Mike Sarah. This is the Customer States podcast, where we talk about everything in the automotive industry. I am the senior master technician, shop foreman, transmission technician, and as I always say, I wear many hats.
I was just going to say, don't forget your hats.
Oh, all of the hats. And to my left is the warranty wizard herself, Allie Paul.
What's up, guys? This is Allie. I have been in the warranty field of the automotive industry, warranting those claims.
Administrating those warranties.
Warranting the fields.
Sorry, I had to set my drink down. For 10 years, 11 years. Oh. But who's counting?
Yeah, just you never want to count. So it was a hell of a week.
Oh, should we introduce our fifth member,
Hashtag sell the
Bellina?
bell.
Sell the
that
bell.
shit.
We have had these things flying off the shelf since we introduced them last week.
I was going to say
Thanks,
solid week of sales, so
Yeah.
really appreciate it, guys.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Keep hitting us up.
And now you have a little member of your own.
Yeah, you guys have the experience.
A little piece of us in here.
Allie's like, I'll do a spit track. It's like, little piece of us inside you, love you.
Phrasing?
I was gonna say like in your toolbox,
phrasing?
like in your box, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe not.
Stick it in your box. It's a good place. Phrasing.
But it was a
week.
It was a testing week. I got to be honest. There's those ones that you remember, and this is going to be one of those weeks.
Yeah,
I learned
after the
some-
holiday, especially, it's crazy.
Shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I learned some things about myself this week.
Did you know?
Yeah. Did you get the Monday off?
No, I did not. I had to work Monday.
Monday off. That's funny.
Yeah,
No observed holidays for the automotive industry.
no, everybody had to work Monday as far as I know, in our industry.
Yeah, in your industry.
Yeah.
Whoa. And what do you do, Kevin?
something way cooler than me.
Yeah, it'd be cooler than me too, to be honest.
Production lighting and rigging.
Yeah.
Big boy
it's
Legos.
cool.
Yeah, big boy Legos.
Big
and
boy
lights.
Legos.
Right now, I'm building the mazes at Universal Studios Hollywood for Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, doing the lighting and that shit.
You're building
are
them
fun.
already?
Yeah, we're started.
Jesus.
Insert beep noise here because I'm pretty sure that's confidential.
Not at all. We're building mazes. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you could go to the park and see like
Yeah. I'm waving to
dresses
people.
that-
They're like, oh, hi. Yeah.
Any douchebag with a drone can also figure it out too.
Not over that
And
space.
Not over that space.
What, Universal?
Yeah. Good luck with that shit.
Really?
Oh,
It's a no-fly zone. I don't know.
Well, what do you... Oh, I mean,
I already applied to be one of the snipers that shoots the drones down.
How did that go? Are we starting a new podcast?
We've gotten your application and we'll give you a call.
Yeah,
If services
exactly.
are needed.
we've taken your application into account. We'll call you. But so what was it? I'm behind it. Was it last week or the week before last that we talked about manager shit?
I think it was a couple weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago. So that, let's see. So
And you talk about new management, right?
right, new management. So
yeah, the change.
we have had
Yep.
the
Power.
we have had the new manager now for 2 weeks. So the first week or the first official day that he was there, he has a managerial approach of basically pull the pin in the grenade, chuck it, and see what happens.
Yeah. That's,
So, and what I was talking with you guys is how, I said he seems like a consultant. He doesn't really seem to kind of have the service manager attitude. Like,
Attitude.
attitude.
You know what? You really need to shape up your attitude.
Attitude. Your service manager,
What's
Miss-
up, Comanche, Texas?
Miss starts with a D because I have no idea if she wants to use her name on this.
Probably not.
So there you go. So Mrs. D, she's been calling us a bunch because we've got your Miata that you guys are trying to throw on the certified lot or the used car lot.
Used car lot.
It's like a 99 Miata. And
no one tells me nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about a
He's
Miata.
not a salesperson, okay?
the top doesn't work. So we've got one of our techs figuring out why the top doesn't go down and some other thing. So she's been calling us a bunch. But
Fucking cage it, bro.
so
This is the topless model. Enjoy it.
yeah.
Like that thing would not sell so fast. Like the first kid that went on lot is like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna get a $20,000 car. It's gonna be a brand new shitty whatever the fuck. And then there's this like caged out Miata for 15.
Oh my God. Can you
Bro.
imagine?
Yeah. 100%.
Like hotcakes.
But like when she
buy it.
like when she calls and she's got everything lined up and she knows what's going on, it's like, okay, that's what a service manager should be like.
She's very good.
Yeah,
Very good at her
and
job.
and she's nice when she's in a good mood. It's like because she's called when she's like, she's busy and she's pissed off at something, and you can tell. It's like if you don't have good news for her, don't piss her off any extra. I
Hey,
can tell
that's
she's
good for her
Well,
because no one will fuck with her when.
well, and that's the point.
Why, Jake? I don't know whatever you're talking about.
You can tell she's a woman of business, and don't get in front of that. That's what I'm getting. This is pure respect. It's just she knows what she's doing. She knows what she wants. If she's having a bad day, don't fuck with her. Period.
Sure.
But that's how I expect a good service manager to be. It's no bullshit. You're gonna get some times when they're either pissed or they're angry, whatever the fact. But at least you know the job's being done right.
Right. Yeah.
Our new manager, literally the first day he came in, when our other service manager left, he walks in or the day before, he's like, tomorrow, or this was actually on a Friday, on Monday is my first official day. And he looked at us and he's like, you guys better buckle up because there's going to be some changes.
That's not a way to start
Okay, so-
a conversation.
So that's the thing. So first off, it's like, that's how he started it. He didn't tell us anything. Nothing. We're all like, okay, well, what are you going to change? And he's like, you guys will figure it out. We're like, the hell you mean we're going to figure it out? So we show up on Monday. Number one, he has increased. Podcast Poochie.
Hi, Beans.
Hi, Beans.
Frijolito.
Frijolito. Did you send, by the way, did you send that one special recording to your buddy?
Oh, yes.
How did we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, let's not.
Should we talk about? No, we're not talking
let's
about
talk
that.
about that off air.
Well, I'm not going to say
We'll
what
talk
it was, but
about that later.
But either way,
Ali.
should have had a V8.
If everything you're doing is bad,
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Ali and I just high-fived off.
Yes, we did.
So he increased
Poorly on
our
my account.
appointment capabilities. So we can either set appointments, or you've got your online scheduler where people can just go onto the website and say, I want this at this time.
Right. Yeah.
He increased our appointment capabilities, or ability to have appointments made, not by us, by 30%. We do not have any new techs. We do not have any new equipment. We don't have any open bays, nothing. So that's how he starts it. And he doesn't tell us until Monday. We walk in and it is about 30% more appointments. So that's the first. The next big change that
30% more money. What do you mean?
So
That's what management and everybody sees.
right. So that's the first buckle up, get ready. The second one that hit real hard for us is the fact that, my tech is in the hospital, one of them. Another one on Monday that we found out is he just didn't show. So that was 2 people down for the brand new start of that many more appointments.
Right. Yeah.
Also, the way that our dispatching works that we have done for...
You guys have dispatching?
Yeah. Okay, take that very mildly. It's my
do you
buddy...
have bookers?
The hell does that mean?
Okay, yeah.
You were about to be
Question
like,
answered.
what's a
we
booker?
have had this. Yes.
We have.
I'm
So
sorry.
We used to.
So my dispatcher, Kurt,
you?
who is a prominent listener and he supports us, he's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt. So he's good
Hashtag sell the bell.
he's good at what he does, in the sense of, if it is done his way, everything's fine. You hit some roadblocks, but it moves on. The new way, oh boy, the new way that we are doing this is how Kurt, or we have done this for about 30 years, is we have ASAPs and we have waiters.
What's the difference?
The waiters go first. They're actually sitting there
waiting.
Sitting there waiting, so they take priority. The ASAPs, we basically put them, we can basically ask, when do you want this, at what time, and we can kind of flow with it. It would either say waiter or ASAP. We were able to work as a team to flow it out with our size of our operation. How many techs we have, the customers are happy, they don't wait any longer than they have to. Waiters are still the same. ASAPs are not. The way that ASAPs work now is the longest one who has been there will get priority. It does not matter what time they are going to pick up, which is wrong, number 1. Number 2 is,
Why is that wrong?
because you'll have some, like, if, let's say you've got somebody who's like, oh, I'm going to pick up at 5 o'clock today, and you've got one who's like, I'm going to pick up at 1 o'clock. If that 5 has been there longer than the 1, that gets priority, and that makes zero goddamn
Yeah,
sense.
that's not the way that's supposed to work.
No. So that's the next big red flag. And then third, we had it set because we've got a smaller operation, and we found a sweet spot of how many appointments we can take. We hand them out one by one. Here's this, plenty of time for upsells. If something's wrong, we can discuss it with the customer. Everything's fine. Nobody's rushed. The customer understands we're good. It's a nice, smooth operation. That has changed. Now, when a tech walks in, you get 2 waiters and 2 ASAPs. Here's 4 tickets. You get to decide as a tech how you want to work on them.
Oh, first thing in the morning, here you go.
It just continues with that, and you're not allowed to do anything else.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horseshit, dude. And so today, the way that it worked is with 30% more, we couldn't do upsells because there was no time. Last week, earlier in the week, we had 3 customers pull up into our service drive that left. They walked into the office, said, are you guys really this busy? What's changed? We said, new management. They're like, ooh. They're like, peace out.
They smacked the microphone
They
and
did.
left.
They smacked me.
They smacked. They smacked the mic.
They walked in and they're like, what's going on? And we're like, well, new management. There's some new things going on and we're incredibly busy. They're like, well, how long is it going to be? And we usually quote about an hour to an hour and a half. And that's enough. Now we're all like, it's going to be 2.5 plus hours.
So therein lies the problem, that with increased volume, you have less time to focus on each customer.
Correct.
And for smaller dealerships like yours, the customers that you have really like that small dealership feel, or that small shop feel, and the time that you can spend with the customer. So unfortunately, you're shooting yourself in the foot because
100%
you're trying to put
now,
volume through.
And
I also have like another part of this question, or comment, again, in the same sense that you're shooting yourself in the foot by trying to bring in the volume of customers without having the ability to take care of the customers. And now that you brought in that volume, you can't take care of the customers you already had before.
Yep.
Okay, so now, without being too specific, can you tell me how many technicians total that you have? And I use that in quotations because I'm including lube techs, if you have dedicated lube techs, and also like your technicians versus
five technicians, one lube guy.
So 6 people, 6 bodies total.
Yep.
Correct.
And how many appointments do you have a day?
Now or
No,
before?
Well, before and then now, because the only thing that's changed is your appointments per day.
Before was around 28 to 32.
Okay. So 28 to 32 appointments divided by 6 people is, I'm terrible at math, but it's 3 to 4 or something an hour for an 8-hour day or something like that, which is a crazy amount of time to, even if they were all just oil changes, it's still, you're still severely underbooked. Now, what are you doing today?
We are doing
Overbooked, underbooked, or overbooked?
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I misspoke probably. I meant to be overbooked.
okay.
now.
I'm here for
we
you.
are
Thank you, Ali.
40 to 45 plus.
That is redonkulous. That's numbers like we're
I know.
at.
I know.
It's crazy.
So, besides the fact that we've got customers who are walking because what they have come to know, to be comfortable with, to know that they will be taken care of properly,
Right.
the time will be there for them, it's gone. So, our CSI is being affected. Our scores suck. We're having people that are literally walking out before we even get to offer them something.
Yeah.
We have no time for upsells or to really pay attention to those cars, which pisses off my techs because they take pride in what they do, and it pisses us off because we take pride in what we do as writers.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and it's really, really difficult to say this, but we want to tell the new manager, this is not working. This is not the way that this should be handled. However, we have all kind of come to a realization that we need to let this guy shoot himself in the foot. Because the owners see this guy as the new golden god. This is the answer to all of our prayers. This is how we get more money. This is how we get more customers. This is how CSI increases. Excuse me. And so far, none of that has happened. So if we step in and we say, dude, you're effing up here, you're effing up there, you're effing up there, it's not going to get fixed because the ownership will never see that. So we kind of got to let him catch himself on fire, because other than that, the numbers will show.
The problem is that if for whatever reason your team is able to make it work, you're only going to show a benefit, a profit off of that. Your profit margins are higher now than the last time.
Mother of God.
And
So that's a problem right there, because
Yeah.
it may actually work short term, but then you're burning your people out.
that,
and
dude,
you're losing customers.
I even when I first came into this, going from portering to writing, when it was something that I had no idea about, getting thrown in, I was tossed to the wolves, very, very little
You feel
training.
like you can handle change.
It's like, that's fine. I was able to pick it up real quick. I felt confident in myself. I have never been more emotionally and physically drained in just the past 2 weeks.
You're asking too much of the same.
And
amount
that's
of
where,
stuff.
and that is where the pull the pin and chuck the grenade attitude comes from. And he'll sit there and, he'll watch and, he'll be like, oh, well, what really ticked me off today.
I think it's good to point out too that we've had the same processes and service manager, with the exception of big computer system changes and stuff like that. There hasn't been much structural change,
But it worked.
and the people who've been working in that building for the past 10 years haven't had a lot of change in the past 10 years. So to change everything is a shock. And we have older people too. That's a shock. That's a lot in a short period of time. And I get making changes. I get making structural changes. Things need to be changed. Honestly, there are things that do need to be changed.
But slow and the right way. It was everything at once. It wasn't, hey guys, we're going to change this. Once we get comfortable and we figure it out, we will then go to the next step. The problem is with this manager is I like I've told before in previous episodes, which you got to listen to and they're available.
Where there weren't soundboard sounds. Hashtag sell the bell.
But he even admitted to Allie, I'm a consultant. I don't stick around long.
Well, not in those words.
Okay, but
To be fair,
yeah. Okay. Bottom of the line is, see how he didn't even deserve that? He doesn't. He basically told Allie, I don't stick around for long.
I don't like that attitude at all. I don't like
He's
that
like,
attitude
I'm
at all.
here to turn the dealership around, make them more money, and go to my next project.
That may work at other dealerships, but you don't know what we're capable of,
Okay. We have a
staffing
culture
wise,
here, too.
location wise.
Right. So that is my
Your ideas may work for some other areas,
Right.
in the majority, but this isn't the majority of those areas.
And that is my next point. Every single time we ask him a question or we have a objection to something he wants to do, he always goes, well, when I worked at this giant GM dealership, or when I worked at this giant Infinity dealership, or when I worked here.
Have you looked around? This isn't a giant anything.
Okay, and that's exactly.
hey, what are you trying to say?
And he
Your dealership's small as fuck.
Yeah. And it's worked, though. It's the community likes us that way.
Your two dealerships occupy like half the size of my one dealership.
Exactly. So when we try and tell him, it's like, dude, you are comparing apples to oranges in the worst way. So that, and he can't be wrong. He's one of those mentalities. He knows
of course.
everything. Yeah. And the one, your job is at stake. So the one thing he told me today that really, and I haven't even told you this, Allie,
Podcast exclusive.
that really solidified like how I feel about this guy. So a lady comes in and we set her up for her 30K. So one of the majors or one of the scheduled services, one of the bigger ones for the Mazdas.
Right. Yeah.
With a few things included. And she wants to wait for the 30K, which she came in for at 11:15. So he has opened up our appointments also. What we used to do was from open at 7:30 all the way to 10:30, we could book however many appointments we felt comfortable with. We stopped taking appointments from 11 to 1 o'clock. That left
catch up.
That left us enough time to catch up. If, we had a couple of ASAPs
Get all the
behind,
upsells
get
or
that,
whatever
all the
done.
upsells.
Yeah.
1 o'clock came around, the new wave came in, we were fresh, ready to go, and we were set. We now can take 11 o'clocks, 11:30s, and 12 o'clock waiters.
When you guys are at lunch.
When we are at lunch, waiters, because he says that we will keep a tech behind at all times.
So he's going to stagger
One
out.
of 6.
One of 6. So there's that. So keep that in mind. This will continue here. 1 of 6. So we had a lady come in for a major who was allowed to make an appointment at 11:15 as a waiter for a major 30K. She comes in and we're like, hey, how's it going? And are you dropping it off to us? What's your plans? She's like, no, I'm going to wait. Okay. It's a possibility it's going to be, 3 hours just because there's still stuff we're catching up on because of the new rules and all this.
Right.
And she gets upset and she's like, well, that's never how it's been. And we're like, well, we have new management and some things are changing and our manager is there listening. And she goes and she's upset and he walks up to us.
Not that you're bus rolling or anything, but like,
Right.
you need to let the customer know what's happening.
Exactly. Legitimately. It's like, we're under new management. There's going to be some tweaks. We're hoping to, learn this with you and slowly get into it.
Yeah.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Very nice. So he turns to me and he goes, so what did you do wrong there? And I'm like, excuse me?
Oh my God.
So he goes, what did you do wrong there? Or what do you think you did wrong there? And I look, I'm like, excuse me, bitch? So
Not verbatim, I'm assuming.
yeah, not verbatim. So I go,
He wishes.
I'm not sure what you mean. And he's all like, so let's look at it this way. He's like, you didn't tell the customer what they needed to do. I'm like, what? And he's like, well, at other dealerships, and he's big on this whole, I'm going to take you guys on a field trip to a different dealership, like across the way or over to Ford.
Well, okay, so
I know the guy.
And you're going to sit there and you're going to watch and you're going to see how awesome it is over there and what they figured out. So he goes, what you should have done was when you said that, you should have offered her the free Uber service that we has. The fact that at this time it's not going to work. And he's like, if you tell the customer and explain to them all of these things, they will then follow and listen to you. I'm like, what?
Wait, so how did
Maybe
you
sometimes,
approach it?
but not all.
Not all the time. So he basically was like, well, if you told her to shut the hell up, quit your bitching, we'll get to it when you want, and your car will be done properly, she'll be totally fine with it, and she'll have a smile on her face.
Kevin would love that if he was the customer in that situation.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Just grab me by the hair and tell me what to do.
So it's that, man, and it is foreign as hell. Hashtag sell the bell. That the way that he is handling this is like a giant dealership. I get that. If we had your team and somebody came in for a major at 11:15, maybe you have a couple of techs that stay behind. Maybe there's a couple of lube guys because there's nothing big to that. It's like replace some filters, torque down some bolts, do an oil change. Big deal. And that's fine.
Well, and we're at capacity. We don't have any more open bays. Like, that's what we can, that's the max.
That is the max. And the other thing is, we don't have parking. We literally have cars that are double laned out to the street because we don't have parking.
So you get nothing.
Yeah, you get nothing as far as parking. That's how we're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Is that there are no available spots in the quote unquote service lot. And so everything that can't be parked in the lot stays in the service drive. So
Wow.
we're
Must
like,
be tight.
so we have 3 rows of cars in the service drive, and each row can hold approximately 5 cars until it gets to the street.
I would say that's pretty accurate with ours too. So we
Yeah.
can have 10 lined up in the 2 lanes, and then however many cars that we have parked in the back, we're swamped by oak trees. So it takes up a lot of our spot. We can't move them.
Yeah.
Well, we can, but they're not going to spend the money to do so.
It's actually illegal.
You can move them.
You have to get yes, it's very expensive.
That's what I mean. They're just not going to
Yeah,
spend the
let's
money.
just move a 150-year-old oak tree. It's going to be
For
no
a couple
big deal.
$1 million. So it has been really rough. It's like the emails that we've gotten from people who are like, does it get better? Is, I'm new at this whole entire thing.
Oh, no.
Circling back.
I'm really circling back with this. It's like, I'm realizing it's like I said, it was tough when I first started this, but I'm good at what I do, not to toot my own horn, but I take pride in that.
Yeah, you should.
I am absolutely exhausted, and it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't, and it is sometimes, especially in your specific circumstance with new management.
Right.
And it takes a while for everybody to kind of congeal and learn how to intermingle and, play everything out the way that it should be.
Right. And he's
Unfortunate, though.
right. And he's
Well, it's a little
really
different story on my end. We'll go into that later.
right. But
it's
you're
different. It's
you're
a different
You're
story.
the warranty facing. It's like he is legitimately working with you to
Right.
try and make things more streamlined.
Well, he's
on
not
our,
my boss.
but
the
that's
way he's your boss. We work together.
That's the point.
not-
You are working
he's not
together
above me.
to try and streamline something. In his case, with being the service manager who knows everything, he is literally, this is what we are going to do. You guys are going to mold to it. And if you don't, you are going to be left behind.
I still feel like it's too new to put any big judgments on it yet. Like,
That may very well be so, but after
but it is a lot of stress on you.
it
on
is so
everyone, and
much.
that first day was interesting.
Oh my God.
I call everybody from time to time, like, hey, what's the deal with this? Where's this? I need this, blah blah blah, bitch.
That's a good
how they see it.
that's a good warranty administrator
how they see it.
who knows what's going on.
And the morale was low that day, that first day, because the 2 managers were there. So we had the older manager and the newer manager on the Friday before, and then that Monday hit, and it was noticeable. It was noticeable.
My text didn't want to work. We didn't want to write. The customers were pissed. I mean, dude, I've got one of my shop foremans. He walked out and he handed him 4 tickets at once. He's good. He can work. Don't get me wrong, but he's an older guy. But he's like, he walked in when he had gone to lunch, the manager, and he's like, dude, what am I supposed to do with 4 tickets? He's like, how am I supposed to be able to pay attention to all this? And all I could do was look at him and be like, I don't know, man. I really don't have an answer for you. None of this is logical to any of us. And he just walked away with his head down. And that sucks. My techs don't have drive. They're pissed. They're tired. They're confused. And, oh, Mike. And today at 10:30, when we were trying to clean up on appointments, he found it a good idea to pull all of the techs off of their jobs. Everyone had a car in the air, and all of them were waiters. And he called a fucking shop meeting
On a Friday.
And he talked to them for 45 minutes. I had
planning at all.
2 of those cars were mine that were in the air. Both of those customers walked into my office and said, why are they all standing over there in a group? And this is all in plain sight. This isn't like, let's go into the parts department where nobody can see us, or let's go all the way into the corner of a bay. This was right out in the open, dead center. 2 customers. Why is my car not being worked on for 45 minutes while these people are all having a meeting? How the fuck do I answer that?
That's
that's frustrating.
difficult answer.
And the crappy thing is, I could only tell them that's our new manager, and he decided it was time for a meeting.
Yeah, and I mean, that's difficult to
And
know
not sorry,
how to delegate something
right?
like
And,
that.
and not to interrupt, if I sound like I'm
But
in a
here
bit,
we go.
What?
But here I go.
But here I go. If I sound like I'm in a bit of a bad mood, I don't want to come across as that. It was just really tough, and I've been wanting to get this across and share with our listeners and stuff like that.
How much of this are we gonna have to edit out?
So it's a bit of therapy for me with this. So I really appreciate everybody who does listen to this. I promise I still love everybody. I love doing this. I'm still Jake.
Tell
but
us
I
how
needed
your shitty manager
Well,
personally victimized
we
you.
are the same humans as you guys. If anything, this is to prove we are in the exact same boat as everybody else.
yeah, nobody's better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But on that note, how about we get some more drinks? Let's take an ad break. Let's
I'm
grab some
ready.
drinks.
Thank God.
Yeah,
In a
you ready?
van down by the river.
All right, everybody.
They got
Thank
drinks
you.
in there?
We're going to go to
Hashtag
ad, and we'll see you soon. Sal the bell.
Bye.
Mike, what are you eating? That looks amazing.
Oh, this? It's just a delicious El Snor burrito from El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Is that nacho cheese sauce and hot Cheetos?
Nacho cheese, hot Cheetos, and their mouth-watering carne asada. And I'm dipping it in their creamy guac.
Creamy guac.
Oh.
Yum.
Giggity.
I guess this is a great time to remind everyone that if they're ever in the Inland Empire area, visit Ray at El Ranchito Taco Shop.
Yeah, totally. Check them out on Facebook.com/Ranchito Elsinore.
Or on their Instagram at Ranchito Elsinore.
Now I want me some Elsinore burrito and some of that creamy guac.
Giggity.
I can always give you some of my creamy guac, Jake. Just ask.
El Ranchito Taco Shop, Lake Elsinore.
More than just great Mexican food.
All right, we're back, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about.
I'm kind of thirsty, so.
Are you okay? Fine.
I'm
You
thirsty
can
as well.
interrupt me for a beverage.
Oh my God. Jake squirted everywhere.
He got it all over the couch.
Yeah, he did. So while
Is Tessa back? Like, what's happening here?
Tessa.
yeah,
Oh, God.
Tessa spread his
Yeah,
glistening seed.
that's a callback.
Hashtag Sell the Bell.
So I'm gonna
Hashtag sell the
also
bell.
go ahead and open up mine. I suggest everybody else opens up theirs as well. Yes, that's good. That's good. Thank you.
So,
Nice.
All right. Shit I saw this week. So,
Good topic.
right? We all have seen some shit this week in
What
one
is
way or
in the
another.
dumpster?
Oh, yeah, the trash panda.
Yeah, I personally did deal with a trash panda this morning.
That's a raccoon for those of you who are not hip to
Trash pandas.
trash pandas.
Maybe that's a California thing.
And for those of you
I
that
think
watch,
that's just an internet thing.
and those of you that watch Bob's Burgers, what is it? King Trashmouth? Or-
King Trashmouth. Yeah. And his wife that I don't remember the name of.
fucking Linda.
Yeah, I go walk up to go open up the gate to the dealership early this morning, and it's like walk out of my truck. I'm fumbling through my keys to try and find the key to the lock for the gate, and
I looked at Kevin like, you better.
Oh, I got you.
Let me just get.
Do you have to pee?
Let me just take a moment to regain my composure. So I'm fumbling through my keys to go find the key to the gate, and look up, and I see, oh, there's something staring at me. Oh my god,
Just those
that's a big
eyes.
rodent. Oh, that's a giant raccoon. Okay.
Do they have freaky little thumbs?
Their hands, legitimately, I don't like that.
Yeah, they have hands.
I don't like
Yeah,
their
they're-
creepy little human hands.
This guy was super cute.
Monkeys
and
don't bother me, though.
You should be afraid.
Fuck, you should be very, very afraid
Well,
of monkeys.
monkeys are in the zoo. It's not
No,
like
no,
I'm
no,
going to
no,
have
no,
a
no, no,
monkey.
no.
Well,
It's
they are not
obviously
in
a
the zoo.
very-
That's when you
wear
have to-
your skin.
So when I was in Thailand,
Hashtag sell the bell. I don't know why there was a bell rung, but wear your skin. That's a good one.
when I was in Thailand, the monkeys were. It was one of those where you're like,
Oh, you
cool.
have to confront the monkeys.
Oh, like you're riding your scooter or whatever, and the monkeys come across the street and will strip you of everything that's worth money or shiny or food or
That's scary.
helps you breathe or see. Yeah, no, they're crazy. You basically look at them until they notice you, and then when they start mobbing, and the other part of it too is like, it's not 4 monkeys, it's 30 monkeys.
Oh, it's a pack of monkeys.
Yeah. And like if you smile, so you're like, oh, monkeys, and your
That's
mouth
a
is
sign of
open.
aggression.
They think you're showing your fangs at them, so they get real fucking
Oh, it's
aggressive.
like yeah.
Yeah, you have to basically just like look at them without any expression.
We're all doing it.
Yeah, mean mugging as fuck.
Jake's showing aggression towards me. Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
well, my opinion
Rest in peace,
on,
Harambe.
Well, I was thinking like a cute little capuchin monkey or
I'd
something.
rather have 30 raccoons than 30 monkeys.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think raccoons can be good pets. I've seen some stuff
Yeah, they're
on
super cute.
Instagram.
I want a pet skunk. Like
Oh,
a D
so cute.
a de-sacked or stink-sacked skunk.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently they make awesome
Unsacked
pets.
Skunked, unsacked, skunked.
Wait.
Yeah,
say
the
it-
glands
say
get
again?
Yeah.
removed.
So they can't spray you.
spray you.
And they make great pets.
They're like little cats.
Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew.
We don't talk about him anymore.
Oh
Shit's
yeah,
canceled,
Hashtags
bro.
Canceled.
He got
canceled because
accordingly he was a bit of a rapist.
Well, Pepe got like Me Too'd, basically.
Pepe got me too'd.
So, speaking of cute things,
That raccoon. Was
besides
cute.
the raccoon was
What do you
super
got?
cute. I saw a picture. We'll have to post it up.
We will post the picture of the raccoon.
I have another great picture. So maybe we'll post it before the episode airs so you know what we're talking about.
Sure.
Maybe. We'll see. But I passed a very illogical door today, first of all. Let me describe this to you. It's the happiest door I've ever seen.
A happy door.
It is a happy door.
So I'm on my way to my local favorite burger place that's adjacent to the dealership.
Burger adjacent.
And it's like in a little back alley, and it's behind a Mercedes dealership.
Okay.
And it's
That's not specific
double
at all.
doors. It's double doors. There's all kinds of Mercedes. dealerships. What the heck?
I'm just giving you a hard time.
And it's also like 2.5 stories off the ground.
Yeah, so it's double doors on a second story that go to nowhere. So and there's one little window on each door. And then there's a chain to keep you from falling a story because
2 stories.
that's safe.
And a half, 2.5.
2.5
Two and a
stories.
half stories. And you apparently have some stories. And so the safety chain, if you will, is the perfect smiley face on the side of this building.
I saw the pictures and I'm a big fan.
It's-
Yeah.
You guys will get to see it and laugh as well.
It's fucking adorable. Every time I pass it, I'm like, it's the happy door.
They had they had to lock and chain off that door because people who are like, I hate this dealership. Take me.
No,
And
that's
just-
what they do with the texts that don't write good stories.
Oh, they push them off the second
Yeah,
story.
they
Sorry,
have a plank.
2.5 story.
It's like all the monks walking off the mountain in Monty Python's
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Holy Grail.
So that's my cute. I mean, you guys, it's so adorable.
People
will make
people
you
will see
smile.
the
If it
picture
doesn't make you
first and then
smile-
hear the episode. It's gonna be great. They'll love it.
If it doesn't make you smile,
You're
no
blind.
friend of
or
mine.
You're blind. I'm trying to think of if I saw anything really crazy. I mean, I
saw
see.
a legitimately mentally ill person at the dealership. It was super sad. She had to be like escorted away. You just get those people sometimes. They're, dealerships have
She
to
heard about
service
the sign
all
then
kinds-
drive event to get into a Jetta. You turned her away.
And it just drove her mad.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's
No, this is
was
no
the
joke,
sign
like,
and
it was
drive,
sad.
then sign, then drive.
Crazy thing. Well, we see squirrels wrestling like. Okay, I brought back a memory.
The squirrels.
Yeah.
So I have no life when I'm at the dealership and I'm in the smoking area, and there is a family, huge super highway of squirrels.
We're the dealership is backed up to an actual.
This is what you're here for, okay? My squirrel story.
I do enjoy the squirrel
That's what I
stories.
appreciate about you.
Squirrely Dan.
The squirrel
Please
is kind of my spirit animal.
Tell me one of them is named Squirrely Dan.
Yes, of course. Well, after you brought that up, and
now there
obviously
is.
we had to name one Squirrely Dan.
Okay, good.
We have Squirrely Dan, Mr. Wiggles, rest in peace. And
He had a
Did you find
neurological-
Mr. Wiggles?
Yeah, Mr. Wiggles has a no, he just wasn't around anymore, and he had some kind of like for sure neurological.
speaking about raccoons,
issue.
Was he like Dr. Katz? He was just like constantly like,
Yeah, and
Michael
it
J.
got
Fox.
progressively worse, and he would be like,
Thanks, Earl.
call back. Yeah, thanks, Earl.
he would be hopping from limb to limb, and he just couldn't do it
All
anymore.
nibbly bibbly.
He'd
Am I hopping
fall
from?
out of the tree.
Am I hopping all, from branch to branch, all nimbly bimbly like a cat? Do I drink milk from a saucer?
No.
But like she's saying, the dealership, the back of the bays on the Mazda side is backed up against a residential. There's a bunch of apartments,
Like a condo complex.
yeah, condos, apartments, and the giant, concrete walls is this quote unquote
Squirrel superhighway.
squirrel superhighway.
They jam down there.
The information superhighway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Elon Musk's bullet train idea, but with squirrels.
Well, where do you think the idea came from?
Right. Just sitting there on Joe Rogan's podcast. Super Squirrel Highway. So that's like an everyday thing. It's at any time when you're back there having a smoke, they are beating the living hell out of one another. It is just like 5 squirrels in one ball of fury, just absolutely destroying themselves.
Like what? Like, please do not come.
Please do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Do not come.
Please do not come over here.
Do not come.
Wait.
I'm gonna come. What is that?
from?
Yeah.
That sounds like me and I don't like it.
Let's give it. It's one and then the other. So Kevin,
I'm gonna come.
Do not come.
Oh my God, I know what that is. That is, oh my God, it's Kamala Harris is the girl voice.
Kamala
and
Harris.
Whatever.
Kamala, say it
Camel
right.
toe.
Jesus.
That's camel toe.
yeah, you know he knows how to say it, but he goes out of his way to say it incorrectly. Just
Yeah,
to fucking
exactly.
pound the lips.
Pound the lips. And the other one is Trump.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
You son of a
Oh
bitch.
my God.
I'm in.
so when you put them together, it sounds hilarious. It took me a lot of work to put those
Wait,
together.
how did you? I
That-
don't even want to see
Dude,
the
you
snapshot
are.
into your
I
brain.
am so glad to call you my friend as a meme lord because I know you know where to find them.
Plenty of more surprises.
Please don't come. I'm gonna come.
Wait,
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
I don't like that. That
Do not
kinda
come.
sounds
I'm gonna
like
come.
me.
Oh my God, dude.
Why don't you go ahead and give us a
Do not come.
Yeah, do that real fast.
Do not come.
Do not come.
Do not come.
Oh my God.
Do you understand?
Does
when
sound
I
like
first-
her. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So apparently, I sound like our first female vice president,
Good for you.
Kamala Harris.
Coming from the liberal?
Do not
This
come.
is not a political podcast.
No, it is not by
Was
any
it me or
sense.
was it her?
Do not come. Do not come here for politics. I'm gonna come.
Wait, that's not what. Is that what he said?
That's what she said.
He says, "I'm gonna come."
Oh, ew.
I'm gonna come.
I'm gonna come.
I don't. You know what? Touche. But how dare you?
Oh my God, that was hilarious. Were those the two surprises right there?
Those were the two surprises. Yeah, that so
You're
like
trying to fit it in.
yeah, I was really trying
what she
hard. That's a stretch.
That's what she said.
Phrasing.
Oh man, that's so good. So to split off here, because I remember
Oh,
you.
boy.
Well, no. We'll try, it's like you said, this is not a political podcast.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, not going there. However, that one picture I showed you that looked like Donald Trump Jr. riding an eagle, I zoomed in on that. That was definitely not Donald Trump
I
Jr.
don't know. We're not posting it.
No,
We're not
that
posting
one's
it.
that one's not posted.
If you don't know, don't post it.
If you don't know,
the
don't
internet.
post.
Yeah.
But what you were talking about, and to kind of, like I said, split off to a different conversation, trying to have customers where you have to try and explain to them in the nicest, dumbest, or dumbed down ways that the reason their car is not working is because of their driving habits.
Oh.
Yeah. So
This is something that happens a lot in both of my car lines because of people like to drive with 2 feet.
Yeah.
So the 2-footed driving is certainly a problem, but I don't understand what happened between the cars of what we would consider yesteryear and today's cars and the driving habits of people. But people drive horribly these days.
Yeah.
It's really bad. And so with all the new technology and stuff like that,
Yep.
you
It's
have
supposed to make it easier.
the new technology is supposed to make it easier, but if you're giving the vehicle, 35,000 inputs at one point in time, the vehicle has no idea what's
What to
going
do.
on and what to do. So we had a customer that came in with a complaint of, in the morning or whatever, the vehicle drives harsh and it shifts funny and lack of power and surging and all this sort of stuff. And so I'd already looked at this vehicle a number of times, and I was never able to duplicate anything with it because I either wasn't driving it the exact way the customer drove it, or it wasn't the same ambient temperatures, things like that, same driving conditions. But I go in and I road test with the customer, and again, it's like, oh well, you're not driving it like the way that I do, or it only happens first thing in the morning,
Right.
And so we have the customer come down multiple times and come road
So
test.
do you
with me.
have him like, okay, if we're not going to start it, like, here's the first start, you drive it to try and duplicate it?
Yeah, they came down. We hopped in the car first thing in the morning, and I had them come down early so that ambient temperature was, cold. I'm just like simulating what they do normally, and they have these concerns.
Customer states.
So,
Tell the bell.
Customer states, yeah, absolutely. So every time that I'm driving the vehicle, to try and duplicate the concern with the customer, the concern never happens. But
Well, now I'm not going to do it.
when the customer got in the driver's seat and drove the vehicle with me, the concern was happening. So it's not anything wrong with the vehicle. The vehicle works.
Everything you're doing is bad.
The
I want you
vehicle
to know
works
this.
perfectly fine, but it's just the way that you're operating it, and that makes it have this problem. And there's like a really hard, yes, the vehicle should work for anybody that gets in it. But if you're on and off the gas pedal a whole bunch and, surging on it, just like we all know that one person that, you get seasick driving on the freeway with the person because they're
yeah.
always on and off the gas
It's
pedal.
like your head's going to hit the dashboard.
Things like that,
"Whoop."
it's not that you have to be trained how to drive the vehicle. It's just, you can't drive poorly. And so there's no real gentle way to tell a customer, like, I'm sorry, but you're just driving the vehicle wrong. You're operating the vehicle wrong.
Yep.
That doesn't make sense to somebody. And I can understand being told that, like, what do you mean I'm driving wrong? I've been driving like this forever. Well, this vehicle is different than your last
vehicle 30 years ago.
Yeah. And so now this vehicle expects people to be driving a certain way because that's how it's designed to be driven like this, blah, blah. I mean, it's a difficult spot to put somebody in. And so
How do you approach it? Like, when you do, does it just depend on?
It depends. I mean, it's a very like individual
Very gently.
basis. Yeah. Well, no, not only that, but it's a very like, specific to this sort of person. If I'm dealing with, an older lady or a young kid
Sure.
or, a big burly man or something like that. It's not that the answers are different. It's just how do you approach it? And, you just kind of have to tell a person like, well, the vehicle is expecting you to do this because of the adaptive learning processes. And if you don't do that, then it has these adverse effects. And if you drive it in this sort of fashion all the time by giving it too many inputs on and off, brake, gas, brake, gas, brake, gas, like in stop and go traffic, it'll develop a certain condition for, a few hundred miles until you stop driving it in that fashion, stop and go traffic. So like it's normal for these things to happen. The vehicle's constantly trying to learn and adapt to how your driving habits. It's not only sensing your driving habits, but it knows like what speeds you're going at, what things you're doing. So it's trying to always get the best fuel economy, the best performance, the best feel out of the vehicle for you. And it's just hard for the vehicle to do all these things, especially if you're giving it way too many inputs. And I've talked about that before.
You have.
I mean, it's honestly you are a giant input to the computer, and the vehicle is a computer, and it's just. It boggles the mind for like to break it down. There's 30, 40, 50, 60 different modules in some of our fancier vehicles.
Yep.
And everything's got to talk to each other, and everything's got to line up perfectly. And it's just absolutely asinine to think that anybody can get into a vehicle and just make it work properly.
Right.
The way it should be, though.
Yep, 100%.
It should work like that.
Yep.
But there's all kinds of different people. There's all kinds of different cars. Like
people are people.
Yeah, 100%.
We are but mortals.
So we had a guy either last week or the week before. He got himself a brand new Miata, and they don't have a turbo option for the Miata. But if you do certain things, it kind of sounds like it has a turbo. It's just the way that the airflow works, the intake, all that. Just the throttle body. It's just the way that it sounds. So he calls and he goes, this is before we ever saw the car. He's like, so when I'm driving the car and like when I first, get into it and go to accelerate, it kind of makes a no, we're like, and he does just like that over the phone.
Yeah, because he's blipping the throttle. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I know
what does this mean?
Exactly. So he goes, it sounds weird. It just sounds like it's sucking air from somewhere. We're like, okay. And we're like, well, we didn't even make an appointment. We're like, are you in the area? And he's like, yeah, I'm right down the street. So we're like, you know what?
Come on down.
Yeah, exactly.
Show us what's going on.
Bring it on down. We're a little slow right now. We'll check it out in the drive. And sure enough, he pulls up. And thankfully that day, because a lot of the times when you have people that have those noises, they're all like, well, other ones don't do this, or I've never heard this in the 3 years that I've had, or whatever the case.
I love that.
So thankfully we had other Miatas there that were getting worked on that were the same year, same trim, same everything.
Oh, you mean the Schmiata?
The Schmiata.
The
Schmishmata. The Regatta.
Stigmata.
Stigmata. So
Mother of God.
What are you blathering about? So he brings it in, and I walk out, and I'm like, this has got to be the guy. I'm like, so it's making a weird noise on you, man? He's like, yeah, it's super weird. And I'm like, do you have to be driving to have this happen, or can you keep it in park and make it happen? He's like, no, I can keep it in park and make it happen. I'm like, okay, why don't you go ahead and do it for me?
Yeah, let my technician come out and take a look at it.
Tap on the accelerator. It's like, yeah, it's like, It's like, dude, it's your throttle body, it's your intake.
Do you happen to have a cold air intake on this vehicle?
So sure enough, he's like, but I've had this car forever and I've never heard it. I'm like, dude, it's always done it.
Have you recently turned the stereo down?
So we're all like, and he's like, well, I don't really hear it driving. I'm like, yeah, these cars sit on the ground. They're made out of nothing. Of course they're loud. You're not going to be able to hear anything. And we're like, but trust us, this is the noise the car makes. He's like, oh, no, so that's my next step. I'm like, okay, if you don't want to believe me, I'll bring out my shop foreman. Bring him out, let him listen. He's like, oh, yeah, man, that's just your intake or your throttle body. It's like, that's just the engine sucking air. I've never heard that. Blah, 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 blah.
The engine is a giant vacuum pump.
Exactly. So
did you claim it under warranty?
No, dear God, no.
I'm not making a joke.
No, we didn't even write a ticket for this.
So there are no problem found.
Yeah, but you can't write a ticket for that.
Not for that. You actually do have to spend some time. But you could have put the test drive on it. You could have. But that's the thing,
we didn't test drive.
It's not worth
it. It literally sat in the drive. But either way, so of course he's like, no, that can't be. It's just mine. I want to write it. I want you guys to bring it in to look at it.
Well, I need to have something written down that proves that my car was here for this
Exactly.
issue.
I'm like, you know what, man? I'll do you one better. I've got your exact same car right there.
Oh, dude, Will, come see me. I have a printout for you.
What?
Legit, on the no problem founds. He had 2 today that he could have flagged.
Oh, right.
Didn't.
Hey, Will.
Thanks
for listening, dude.
Yeah, thank you, Will, for listening. I'm sure I'll meet you at some point. But there are actually things for no problem found. Yeah. However, I try to not put too many of those through the shop because it
You
makes
are-
numbers
you-
look bad.
Yeah, and there are
Also, it's just a lot of like mess and confusion of
I kind of like want to talk to you about this because I do have some diag situations because Volkswagen's way different from Mazda when it comes to diag,
Mazda?
claiming diag. So it's really
Before you continue, just to end this, we pull around that same
You
Miata.
can't finish your thought. What
Yes, I can.
podcast do you think
exactly.
this is?
Well, it's funny. We pull around the Miata, the exact same one, and we're like, sit in it. He's like, what? Well, yeah, sit in it. It's like, it's another customer's, but it's fine. Sit in it. Do the same thing. Well, no, it doesn't feel right. Sit in the fucking Miata.
yeah.
Well, he almost lost her drink.
You guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
You're gonna clean that up, by the way.
And sure enough, he taps. He's like, oh wow, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
I had one in here, man. So this is a bullet
my
point.
nose that tried to come out my nose. I'm not even joking.
Do not come
Do not come.
I'm gonna
not
come.
out my nose. So I had one in here where I had talked about that exact same thing. We had talked about when Kevin was talking about his headrest rattling
yes,
and going
yes,
to the
yes, yes.
dealership, right? So we had talked about bringing out the customer to another vehicle. Well, I had the exact same thing. Customer has a new Raptor and he's worried about, he thinks he's got turbo rattle. And I try to tell the customer in 2 visits ago, this is normal. Like we know that these things make noise if you flip the throttle, things like that. The wastegates actuate, this electronic wastegate actuators, blah, blah. There's like a bunch of stuff that goes on to make you be able to blip the throttle.
Blip.
And so still wasn't happy and he was complaining about it again. So I went up to sales department and I found 2 keys to 2 brand new vehicles. And I showed him on this 2 new vehicles, just like his, with approximately the same mileage. Listen, it does the exact same thing. This is normal compared to another vehicle. So that's a huge thing that, is nice again to be able to work at the dealership and say like, hey, this is just like every other car. This is how it works. This is how it sounds. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And when you literally can be like, well, look, it's the same one you have.
And it's not like you're trying to shine on the customer. It's just like,
No,
there's
of course
nothing,
not.
I can replace everything on your car. I can give you a brand new car. In fact, here's a brand new car, completely different car, and it still makes the exact same noise that your car's making. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Vehicle operating as designed.
Yeah, when compared to a
Vehicle.
Yeah, normal characteristic when compared to like vehicle.
That has to be included on the VW verbiage
That's
no problem
a
found.
huge one.
Mr. AC next to me saw a quote meme in my life at a car dealership.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Where he's been using the lines every once in a while where, this is a problem found, blah, 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 blah. It was a normal operation. Customer educated.
That's
I don't know. That might come back to bite you. They get a copy of that.
it's
They
very
get a
funny,
copy.
but
He's done it. He's done it a couple of times, and he's just like,
yeah, advised customer.
that's what I write. Advise customer to do this, or advised customer that this
customer
may-
educated.
Customer. I schooled that bitch.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it's
what that breaks
right
down to.
there.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
does.
it breaks down to.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh my gosh, if I saw that, I would laugh.
Oh yeah.
If I would not see that though.
I would
seen some-
firebomb my dealership if I saw that on my
You
fucking
would.
work order.
I
honestly,
would
I'd be pissed as
Fallujah
a-
my.
Well, I mean, sometimes.
I would
sometimes.
mismanage my fireworks factory if I saw that shit.
Oh, speaking of fireworks, and this still kind of involves cars
Yeah,
because
did you have like a crazy fireworks experience over the holiday?
What? Yeah, of
The
course.
holiday weekend.
Well, no, but I mean, what happened, before it was because it kind of includes cars. Did you guys see that whole story of how LA Bomb Squad, found all the fireworks and put them in the truck that has the,
The
explosive
bomb squad
tank
vehicle
in it?
was destroyed.
And it blew it to pieces and wrecked the surrounding neighborhood and like injured 17 people.
Yeah, that was before the 4th of July. That was like last week.
No, I realize, but I'm saying speaking of fireworks, that's what I'm saying. Speaking of fireworks, and it involves vehicles.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about this?
Yes, I did. That was major news. I saw like a picture of the whole bomb squad truck like blown up. I was like, isn't that what that truck's designed for?
Guys.
Yeah. Okay, and that's the other thing. It's like, so this was apparently just from some dude's garage of a bunch of like fireworks that they had. This thing's supposed to like handle improvised explosves, C4. Pipe bombs, this type of stuff, and you're telling me some stuff
flagged on so many levels.
And you're telling me that the stuff that Steve across the street went to Pahrump, Nevada to go grab fireworks completely decimated this truck.
Well, thank God our good friend isn't on that list of stuff.
Well, those trucks are designed to be impervious to explosions on the outside.
Right.
But when you have that truck full of shit sealed, that's where you start to get into some trouble.
Then you get some boom boom.
That gas has to go somewhere.
Yes. They put it inside of the truck to do a controlled demolition to get rid of it.
Dude, where's your freaking sound effect right now?
What
That's a
Which one?
technical foul.
Man, nothing is fucked here.
But my buddy showed me that video, and I'm like, oh my God,
You're going to have to show that to me. I haven't seen it.
They really did that.
Oh, I didn't see a video of it.
Oh, you didn't see the video of the truck?
I just saw a picture of like after the fact.
Well, I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can get that up.
Once the chicken comes, we'll watch it. That sounded weird. We ordered chicken for dinner.
Well, I'll send you. I'll send you the video so we can post that in case anybody didn't see that from the previous weeks. That'll just be fun to have anyways on the site or on the Facebook.
Well, I'm going to go back and revisit it quite often.
But it is. They put it in and the truck was there and they blew it up and it absolutely split the truck into pieces.
Oh my God.
It hurt like actual civilians. It hurt ATF agents.
I'm going to come.
Bombs. Oh my God.
Do not come.
No, do not come.
Say that again.
I'm going to come.
Do not come.
No, that was a soundboard. Ali, you say it.
Do not come. Do not come.
Man, that is
the only reason you can tell that it's the soundboard is because it has like
yeah. It's going to be the best, greatest calm you've ever seen. But a little bit of news, like, or previous news, I guess, if I'm going to be exact.
Yeah, we're not always up to date.
It still involved cars or a car, and it got wrecked. So I'm like, we can work it in.
Vehicle.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Oh, we didn't say everything in the
crazy.
Talking about everything in the automotive industry today. In the.
Oh, we missed
our tag-ish line.
Welcome to Customer States. We're talking about everything in the automotive industry. there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Do not come.
Do not come.
We're going to get messages from this episode like, why did Ali say that so many times?
I honestly have a feeling that people are probably going to be, oh my God, soundbite it.
It's already... We'll send it to you. Like, don't worry.
When we were on break and we were out back, you said that you had something to talk about warranty, or did I overhear that wrong?
I mean, I always have something to talk about
warranty,
but if it's fun to talk about or funny is a different story.
I'm going to publicly call out Sam right now because, Sam, you need to, listen to this podcast, but also...
answer your phone.
Also answer your phone because I was trying to get you on tonight.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to ask you a question, Sam. I've never met you before. I still want to go have sandwiches.
Sandwiches with Sam?
Sandwiches?
Sandwiches.
Who was the writer that was like, oh my God, I know who you are. You're the voice. Who was that?
That's Ali.
Right. The other, that's your Ali.
Yeah. The other Ali.
She's awesome.
She seems pretty cool.
That kind of name?
Who's the guy that she was working with? Kind of a bigger guy.
Israel.
Oh, it's Israel. Okay.
Oh, Mike knew, or Kevin, whoever you are, you're one and the same.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Mike and Kev.
People often confuse me and Kevin.
You're in the same room.
Yeah, who said that?
I don't even know.
Just me. He's just trying to make me feel better.
What out of curiosity, what were you going to ask Sam?
Oh, I was gonna ask her how she closes if she closes the ROs prior to making a claim.
Oh,
I hit
right.
the microphone. I got
So the
very
topic for
excited. We're
next
talking
week,
about
we
claims.
get Sam on.
Sam, this is a personal call out.
Yeah, I'm curious. And that's another thing too. Like
I will legitimately force her to listen to this episode because I will find a Bluetooth speaker and hide it right by her desk. She's not going to be able to turn it off. It's just
like that damn noise thing you had
like
taped
the
underneath
beepy,
the. Oh my
beepy.
god!
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah, thank
I
you, Terry.
still have fucking art herpes all over the house.
Art herpes,
There
that's
are
what it was
art
called.
herpes
All I
everywhere.
could think of was, what was it? Like stripper dander. I forget what I called it last time.
Terry, you got yours coming. Don't worry, buddy.
We got something special planned.
Be cautious with every package.
All of your envelopes.
It's like those ones where you break it open and it's just a spring, which is right.
Like
at the
are
do
you
not
talking about
come.
like the peanuts, like the snake that comes out of the peanuts container?
No, those like birthday cards you can get for people where it's like if you literally open it, there's a spring in the dead center that has a little plastic thing filled with glitter and it just pounds you right in the face.
I'm gonna come.
Ring the bell, Kevin. Ring the bell. Oh my.
Do
so
not come.
sorry.
Job. I love
not
this
come.
job.
Oh my god,
Do not come. It's really fun to do. I'm sorry.
man, that's funny.
Okay. Well, I guess we should end on a high note because
Oh, that was
chances are you guys are just going to
fantastic.
fuck the rest of this episode up if we let it go. So,
Thanks, Kevin, for your vote of approval. The producer, awesome.
Mother of God.
Thanks to all the listeners because I was not having a good day and I always love doing this and I'm in a great mood now.
Yeah,
Good.
tell us about
Seriously.
your stories so we can feel you guys.
yeah, Mike,
like,
why
come
don't you?
on.
I love feeling you guys. So
I love feeling you guys.
That's what she said.
please tell us your stories. Continue to send us in comments. When you guys receive your hashtag sell the bells, send a picture of it in its new native environment and how it's working out for you. Either post it on our Facebook page, send us an email.
And now's a good time to talk about our good friend Dale Follett. He is the man behind our hashtag Sell the Bell little plastic 3D printed project. He designed and printed it for us. I couldn't thank him enough, and so we're thanking him now again. Please go ahead and check out his website, twistedbills.com. He does all sorts of 3D printed things, as well as custom car parts, car modifications, things like that. He's got a YouTube channel. When you go to twistedbills.com, for sure click on the link that says what is Twisted Builds. It's got a great video, kind of shows you what he's all about, and I cannot thank him enough. And curious enough, he even does website design.
You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Customer States Podcast. You can email us at customerstatespodcast@gmail.com, which also just happens to be our PayPal.
We need the money.
You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at customer_states. And again, honestly, we love all of your guys' comments and feedback, positive or negative.
Yeah,
Christian,
good,
we heard you.
Good, bad,
Thank you.
indifferent.
Again, I just cannot thank everybody enough.
You are why we do this.
Yeah. You can also find us at anchor.fm. And again, we are available on like 8 major streaming platforms right now, which include Spotify, iHeartRadio, not Pandora yet.
Not
We're working on
Pandora.
that.
Apple Podcast,
Google Cast, Breaker, Radio Public, just
Stitcher.
yeah, pretty much anywhere where you find something, and
Where you find something.
yeah, and more ways to listen to follow.
And we're
yeah.
and we're glad you like the bells.
Hashtag sell the bell.
Sell the bell.
Love you.
Hi, this is Mike Serra from Customer States. Matco Tools is one of the best tool companies in the industry, and Nick Lowridge is one of the best Matco tool distributors. Nick can get me anything I need for the shop or for at home. From oil drain pans to beef jerky, Nick's got what I need on tap. Nick works in the Thousand Oaks, California area, and you too can get whatever you need by calling him at 805-796-7323. And if you're not in that area, call him anyway and tell him you heard about him from the Customer States podcast. And then you can hop on to matcotools.com and find a Matco Tools distributor near you. Matco Tools. Service, trust, results.